Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to turn a pine bowl blank like this into this galaxy bowl. Now this is a pretty simple project, literally rough out a bowl and then put some colour on it. So let's get on with the video. So the bowl blank I'm going to be using for this project is about 135mm in its diameter by about 70mm. Now this isn't the exact bowl blank that I'm going to be using, but it's pretty similar, and the bowl blank I'm using is 70mm deep, which hopefully will create about a 70mm deep bowl, and then I'll probably get about 130mm after we rough out the blank. So let's get on with that. The first step to the project was to rough out the bowl blank. To do this I just used a bowl gouge, and then I used another one as well just to help get the shape round. I then started to push the material round to the bottom of the bowl in order to create a desirable shape. So what we're going to do now is we're now going to flip it round and work on the inside and then colouring. Now, as I said, this is going to be based off of the idea of Scorched Inferno, one of my favourite pieces I've done. Did really well on YouTube, quite a popular piece for me, and I'm really happy with the overall look of it, pretty cool. And then the inside is completely dusty because I keep it on the top shelf up there, so it does get very dusty, but yeah. One of my favourite pieces just because of the colouring, and I think the pine really helped with that because this is laminated up pine. It's got loads of these different lines and things which really add colour. When I put the colour on, they add the depth to it. So yeah, we're going to work on the colouring now. I then reversed the bowl on the lathe and used a bowl gouge just to smooth it over where there might have been some bumps from not gluing it on perfectly straight. I then sanded the exterior of the bowl up to about 400 grit so that I had a good base to start applying the colour to. I then moved on to hollowing the inside of the bowl. Now I found this really difficult as pine has a lot of tear and it's not something I've done a huge amount of, so I tried to use the bowl gouge where I could, but I did have to use a round scraper a little bit just to help out with it. It wasn't the easiest, as I've just said, but I took my time and eventually did get a shape that I was happy with. I'm going to try and practice turning end grain pine a little bit more because I've got quite a few of the bowl blanks and I'd like to be able to get a smoother finish on the inside of it. I made sure to keep checking the depth of the bowl so that I didn't go through the bottom and create a funnel. Once I'd hollowed out the interior of the bowl, I then moved on to the sanding process, starting with 120 grit and working my way up to about 400 grit, again to apply a nice key to be able to apply the colour to. So I've sanded the bowl up to 400 grit and I'm now going to move on to applying some Hampshire Sheen intrinsic colour collection. So we're going to work from a black as a base layer on the bottom, and then we're going to move up to a blue and a purple, which will hopefully create some sort of galaxy or ocean kind of theme. Now, I'm not entirely sure how it's going to turn out, but let's have a go. Okay, so as you can see, I've now got the turner's smock on, despite the fact it's about 30 degrees, but we make do. I don't really want to get a load of dyes on me, so I thought I might as well just stick this on. So what I've done in this box is I've got some kitchen towel, some of the intrinsic colours. I've gone with plum, black, sky blue, white and midnight blue. So we're going to use those, and we're going to start, as I said, with a bit of a black base layer. I may or may not sand it off, we'll see. I'm just going to start from the bottom, work my way up, then we'll work on the inside. Then we'll just cut that back with some 1500 grit, cellulose sanding sealer, and then wax. Now the other thing I've also got is some paint brushes. They can be handy, just especially if you're doing these bits, just to brush some of the colour in. So we may end up using those, I don't know. Now I've also put Scorched Inferno up there just for some inspiration on how I did it last time, because I was really happy with the colours. So we'll probably use a bit of inspiration in terms of how I layered them up on this piece. So I'm going to get started and I'm going to use a plum base layer. I was going to use black originally, but I think some plum would look quite good. Now the beauty of these is you can always sand them off. So we'll just start with a little bit, just brush it in there. Don't need to be neat with this, because we're sort of going for that galaxy theme, so I'm not too worried about it being neat. So we're just going to brush the plum into the base of this piece. And I'm using quite a lot here, as you can see, or hopefully see. Now because this is sanded quite a lot, not all of the colour will soak in. There will be some patches where it won't, so we may have to take a little bit off and just sand back, but that's fine. I'd rather do that than not have sanded it enough. Right, just brush that in, a bit more here maybe. And just start brushing some of that up there, like that, just so we can start to flick a bit of colour into this piece. Now I'm going to time-lapse the rest of this and we're going to get on with moving on to the sky blue. Might add a bit of white, as I said. I might get a paintbrush and flick some sort of stars onto it. Midnight blue, and that's it. With the bottom of the bowl applied with a deep layer of plum, I then moved up to the other colours and just tried to blend them as best as I could. Now it's not an exact science, it's literally just apply some colour and try to get it to look nice. Now ideally I should have used a bit more stain because there were a couple of bits where you could sort of still see the pine coming through, and some people like that, some people don't. So as you can see, we've now got the base layer done and pretty much all of the colouring done on the outside. Pretty happy with it, but I did also add some chestnut products, iridescent pink, just to add a bit more of a galaxy theme to it. So we're now going to move on to the interior. Same process, I may add some pink again, and I have got some purple in the cupboard, so I may just splash a few more of the colours around, just as I said, to create more of a galaxy vibe. And then we're probably going to add a bit of white over the top, just a couple of sort of splatters of paint to mimic some stars or something like that. So let's work on the inside now. I then did the same colouring process on the interior of the bowl. Okay, so what we've done now is we've done the inside and the outside of the bowl. Really happy with it. Pretty much how I wanted it to turn out. I put a bit of water on just to raise the grain slightly. We'll cut it back a little bit. Then we'll apply cellulose sanding sealer, woodturner's blend, and cut that back. And then that'll be the project done. I'm really happy so far, so let's just whack this on. Well, sand it back, whack it on, and then hopefully it should turn out pretty cool. I then used a 1500 grit pad just to apply a little bit of a key before applying the cellulose sanding sealer. I then put a couple of coats of that on and then applied woodturner's blend to the interior and exterior of the bowl. So here's Scorched Inferno, which was the red bowl that I did a few years ago, well, about a year ago now. And then here is the new Galaxy bowl that I've done. I'm pretty happy with it, but the inside isn't great, as you can see. Quite a lot of tear out. Now, the main reason for that is my tool presentation was not great. I haven't really been turning bowls for probably about 3 months now, and I've only done 1 or 2 in the past 3 months, so I have lost a lot of that skill and a lot of the technique, so it's just about getting back into practice. Pine probably wasn't the best wood to get back into it because end grain pine is notorious for a lot of tear out and it isn't that easy to turn. But I like to give myself a bit of a challenge and it turned out alright. Not overly happy with it, but I'm not disappointed either. I would have liked to have added a bit more pink, and definitely I should have added the white speckles to mimic some stars, but it's not bad. And also I should have used a bit more of a high grit sandpaper so the woodturner's blend creates more of a shine on this. But I'm pretty happy with it overall. Just a few things that next time I'm going to try and work on. And I will be doing more of these out of pine because I've got 6 or 7 blanks on the shelf, so plenty more to practice with. And I do like all the different colour ranges you can get with these. As you can see, they have a lot of variety just because of how different all the pieces of pine are because they're laminated up. But yeah, overall, pretty decent project just to get back into things and pretty happy with how it turned out, but a few things I would work on. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.